broadcasting live worldwide.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
10 seconds to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Merry Christmas.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. This is Angel, and today is Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. Do you remember this sound? Oh yeah, I remember that sound very vividly. See, when I was a kid, we used to play arcade games. We used to go to the laundromat with our moms. We'd get $1 in quarters, and we'd be able to play for a very long time. Today, I'm going to take you back to the 1980s, in which we talk about our favorite arcade games. Join me, because this conversation is going to be very interesting. Have Faith, Let It Begin starts right now.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, The Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin. Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let It Begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Can you say have faith, let it begin? Huh? Yeah. Yeah? Right. Daddy loves you. Oh my goodness. That noise will take you way back. Folks, welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin. It's a Tuesday edition, and today is talking about arcade games as we take you back. Now, I'm not talking about getting into the DeLorean, getting your flux capacitor set up and doing a Back to the Future, culture event of the year. Nothing like that. We're just talking about a basic discussion about what it was like to be in the 1980s. Now, a lot of our viewers weren't even born in this era. A lot of you actually weren't even, by the time you were born, Nintendo already had come out. So I ask you to, and I caution you to just be a little sensitive here, unsensitive about what we're going to be talking about, because quite honestly, you're not going to be able to follow. But you may be intrigued. You may want to take a look back and go to YouTube accounts and take a look at old games that they actually advertise. There's a great channel called 80s Classic Video Games. They provide soundtracks. So I want to thank them for allowing me the use of that audio that I just provided each and every one of you. Now, when I was a kid, I remember going to the laundromat with my mom, and my mom would give me $1 in quarters. And I don't know about you, but it felt as if I was able to play with those dollars and quarters for quite some time. See, nowadays you go to maybe one of these GameStops, or not GameStops, I should say, Round Ones, or all these different types of places where you can actually get credits on a card. And then all of a sudden you play a game that's worth 9 credits, which is probably worth like $2. You only get 2 lives, and then the game is over. It's almost as if the games are designed for you to die quickly so that you can put more credits. Well, in my day and age, when we would put 1 quarter in, because it would only cost a quarter to play, like Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man or Donkey Kong or Missile Command. Yeah, these are the games that you would play for quite some time. And it'd be easy also to get an extra life. You didn't have to complete X amount of boards just so that you can achieve more credits. No, a quarter actually meant something in many ways. And one of the things that I think is interesting is when I was looking back at the history of the arcade games, just a list of games that we grew up with, like Centipede and Defender and Space Fury and Galaga, and of course, like I stated already many times, Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, but Pac-Man, of course, being the elite of anything, especially for the Atari video game. Games like Donkey Kong or Mr. Do, Burger Time. There's a lot of games that just continue to go on. Frogger being a classic game. There's Jungle King. There's Pole Position. And then, of course, as time evolved, we started seeing other games. We, of course, saw games like Armor Attack and Star Castle, Super Pac-Man. And these are the games that we grew up with. These are the games that were fun. Then eventually you started seeing games like Mousetrap, Starjacker, Popeye, iRobot. And then, of course, as the movies started to come out, like Star Wars, we used to start playing games like that. But I want to continue on with the whole essence of the arcade games that were in laundromats, games that we grew up in, games that actually, were fun. Even adults played. Now, you can't even have an adult try to pick up a joystick or a controller, as they would say, and even attempt to play a game because there's so many different buttons, like a bumper or a side trigger button or an X button, a Y and a C and an L, T, Y, well, all these buttons that don't even make sense sometimes for our generation. But one thing that we can recall on is how often everybody played the arcade games and how most of us could play it and be good at it. Nowadays, it's as if the roles have been reversed. Kids are better at playing video games than adults were. When we were kids, the adults were better than the kids. The adults would actually get the quarters and they would play. And they would actually show their kids how well they were. Now, good luck trying to find a parent that may or may not be able to follow in the footsteps of their children who literally can pick up a controller, figure out and master a game and maybe beat a game in a day. I just find it very interesting that time has changed in that industry for so long and how often things continue to evolve. Now we have things like virtual gaming, whereas we had this one-dimensional game. And it was a screen. And the screens weren't even that big. And the screens were within a glass. So it would magnify so that we could actually play the game. Yeah, those were the days. I remember the days playing in the laundromat. And I remember crying because Mr. Pac-Man couldn't get a certain level. Don't you just hate those ghosts? They would fly around. And no matter what you did, whatever quick turns you'd make, you'd always find yourself getting that nasty, nasty sound, of ending the whole game and not knowing. Yeah, those were the days. Somebody wrote to me once and said, Angel, what was your favorite highlight of being a child in the gaming industry? I would have to say, for me, it was learning how to try something new. Let me be more specific. I remember when the industry changed because Sega Genesis came out of nowhere. And everybody wanted to buy the system. It was $125. And I remember looking at the package and all of a sudden saying, there's only one joystick? Why do they only give you one joystick? And you had to find out that in order for you to play with your buddy, you had to go out to the store and buy a joystick. I remember going to my friend Chris's house, and he had had the first Sega Genesis, and we couldn't even play. He rented a game, but we couldn't play because it was only one joystick that came with the system. And now, you start seeing the way the games were built and how we went from arcades to 1/4 to a cartridge. And then all of a sudden we went to CDs and DVDs and we had Sega CDs. And then all of a sudden now games and cartridges and DVDs and CDs are going away. Everything's digital. It just keeps changing. When was the last time you thought about when you played an arcade game? When was the last time you thought about taking a quarter from your mom or 50 cents and hearing that quarter go into the little piggy bank of the arcade and then having the arcade say 1 or 2 players and you push the button and the button would make that noise and then the big stick on the arcade would go left, right, up and down. It didn't have that maneuvering like it does now. It was just simple. Life is simple. Times can be simple. They haven't been this simple in quite some time since we've been dealing with our pandemic. But there's a message here, and it goes like this. In the 80s, for some of us, one simple quarter meant so much. In the year 2020, one quarter can't even buy you a smile. Yeah, sometimes we'll walk streets and we'll see homeless people put out a cup and they're asking for a quarter. Some of us will put quarters in the cup, others will walk by them. Just think about the significance of that. A quarter back in the 80s put a smile on your face. A quarter today for somebody who doesn't have food, who doesn't have the ability to get on their feet and work. Have a cup extended to you, hoping and praying that even you threw a penny or even $1. A lot of us are dealing with so many different things, but we forget that 20, 30 years ago, things meant something. A quarter meant something. A nickel meant something. So today, as we get closer and closer to the holiday season, and on Christmas Eve when I deliver this message called Believe in Christmas, I want each and every one of you to believe in one thing. Yourself. Believe in the smile that is deep down inside of you. Believe in what your heart can bring and your charm and your treasures, your hidden treasures that you fail to use because maybe you're afraid that there's not something deep down inside you. We all have hidden treasures. We all have gifts. We all have talents. We don't need to put a quarter in a machine to use those talents. What we do need to use is what God has given us. And that is the gift of love, forgiveness, and the ability to try. So today, I challenge you. I'm asking you, do your very best. If you're going into work, if you're meeting people, use the gifts, use the talents. That is a treasure that has been provided for you. And even though your day may not be filled with joy, maybe your day may not be filled with happiness, one thing is for sure. We all have the ability to change an outcome. We all have the opportunity to put a smile on other people's faces. And we don't have to do it with a quarter. Think about that today. And never forget. Have faith. Let it begin. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.
Merry Christmas.
Hi everyone, this is Angel from Have Faith, Let It Begin. Just to remind you, for the very first time ever on this show, we will be live on Christmas Eve at 11 p.m. to deliver a very special Christmas Eve Mass. That's right, it'll be our very first time that we'll be broadcasting live on Facebook Live on Christmas Eve at 11 p.m. I hope that each and every one of you will join us for a very special episode, a very special message. It will also air on this platform, audio version. But if you have Facebook, join our Facebook like page and join us live for our very first ever Christmas Eve special. In addition, on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we will also air the story of the candy cane. Hope you will join us.
Merry Christmas.